Hey, blessings. How everybody doing? Hey, it's great to be back on another night, another episode, and I'm excited again about this episode. This will be episode 17, so we getting into episode 17. So I invite you all to come in. Feel free to share. Uh, it's Saturday. Big Alabama fan myself. Iron Bowl going on. But I think we done won this one, so I'm not really worried about it. But praying for all my Auburn friends and family out there. I gotta throw some shots at you. But no, just wait for some people to come in, but feel free to share. Feel free to share and invite people in. And I look forward to the comments. Looking forward to the comments, looking forward to the dialogue about this topic that I think will be real good and real helpful tonight. I'm so grateful that we're continuing on with this. God has been doing. He put this on my heart. No. He put this on my heart a while ago, and I'm just thankful that we're able to continue this. And my prayers really is that this can be a blessing to all. So again, feel free to share this, invite some people in. But I really want to go ahead on and really get on it. Get on this topic, and the topic tonight is kind of an extension of what we had a few weeks ago when I had my beautiful mother on with me. And on that episode, we talked about the consequences of unforgiveness. But tonight I wanted to deal with and jump in, really wanted to deal with and jump in the subject of the process of healing begins and ends within your mindset or your mind. The process of healing begins and ends with your mind. I think that this is a topic that really needs to be discussed and had. And I feel that it is one that a lot of people have been really waiting to talk about to try to get an understanding. And one of the reasons I want to share this, one of the reasons why I felt led to start like this I guess this weekly thing is entitled The Conversation. It is because we have a lot of times there are things that we don't talk about. Hold on a second. Nia, close the door, sweetie. There's a lot of times there are things that we don't talk about, we don't discuss. And it's stuff that we really deal with on the inside. And I think that especially from the position of those that are believers and those that are a position of church, we have remained silent about a lot of things that are impacting us on our day-to-day lives that I feel if we just sit down and have a conversation, people will begin to understand that, first of all, you're not the only one to feel that way. Yes, Nia. Okay. Get your one from upstairs. Get your charger from upstairs. My daughter's asked me for a charger because she don't want to go upstairs and get hers. But that's just the joy of being the dad. But back to what I was saying. It's we don't have these things, or we don't talk about these subjects that are a lot of ways are taboo, but a lot of people deal with. And I really felt that it is necessary to have a medium that we can have these open discussions. That's why I really, it's not about a one-way thing. I really look forward to the dialogue, really look forward to people sharing, because healing is something that everybody has to go through. And I don't think that that's something that nobody's exempt from, because we all had some level of something that has impacted us and we need to heal. And the thing about healing is healing begins and ends with your mind. So we got a few comments. We got my mom. My mom said, hey, she also said, give Nia a charger. Hey, Nia has her own charger that I bought her. It's upstairs. She don't want to go upstairs and get it because she want to stay downstairs and use daddy and then take daddy charger upstairs. But no, that's not going to happen. Christina, she said, hey, Christina, how you doing? Thank you for the support. Thank you for being on. But hey, this thing about healing, man, healing is something that nobody's exempt from. Nobody's exempt from healing or having to go through the process of healing. And then what I mean by the process of healing is it begins and ends with your mind. It all starts with a thought. It's a thought. And I think a lot of times we struggle with that because we think that healing, in a sense, is an emotion. It can be started by an emotion. Something can, that emotion or that feeling can either by a challenge, either by, it can be done by a challenge. It can be done by a situation. It can be triggered. Something can trigger us. It can be, we can become angry about something, and then that gives us the motivation to do it. But healing really boils down to being a choice, and it is a choice. It is a decision, a logical, a mental decision that said, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to start this process." In healing, it is a process. It is a process. That means that it is a process that don't have a set time limit. But the power behind it is once you start it, you control that time, the timeline. You control your own timeline. So I can't judge you based off or say, well, if we went through something similar, you only should have this time to heal, or you should have that time to heal. We got some more comments. I just want to get in. Mom said healing is a choice. It is a choice. It's a decision. We got Miss Paige Banks. She said, hello, everyone. Hey, Miss Paige Banks. And Christina said, she said, it's a daily choice. It is a daily choice. And I'm going to get something. I was going to jump on this one too. My mom just made this comment. The comment she made, she said, we want instant healing. Well, we do want instant healing, but we have to look at it, how we've been conditioned and things have been conditioned for us. I like to have these discussions about the difference in the generations, because as technology comes, especially I'm speaking from America, as technology comes, our patience get a little thin because we've become so accustomed to things. So, for example, I grew up with microwaves were the norm. I grew up where microwaves were the norm in the house. Well, my mother, when they grew up, they didn't really have that. It was a luxury for those that did have it. And what happened was they would warm the food up in the oven. So they were patient on it. Well, with me, just throw it in the microwave, quick minute, I'm ready to go. I remember growing up where people still used to cook popcorn on the stovetop. And then we started putting popcorn in the microwave. There's a thing that was accustomed to it. I talked to a lot of the younger kids right now, younger adults, about just understanding the difference, and talk to a lot of the older people about understanding the difference when communicating, because we want things now. We've been so conditioned with getting things now, instant grits, instant oatmeal, everything, fast food, everything is right there. And when we deal with stuff subconsciously, we approach our healing as if it's supposed to be instant. I make that decision right then and there, and boom, everything goes away. And especially we as the church, we have made it almost like a hocus pocus thing, to where we just put some just say you believe, and you believe in everything's there, and boom, automatically it's going to happen. Yeah, but it's still a process. That's still a process. I mean, if you look throughout the Bible, look throughout stories in the Bible, you will see that everything that God did, it was a timeline associated with it. It was a process. If you look at David was an anointed king when he was 16. He didn't become king of Israel until he was 33. You look at the process of Joseph. Joseph had a dream when he was a young man. He didn't become second in charge to Egypt until he was older, and he had to go through the process of being prepared. When we talk about our healing, we have to go through the process of healing. And it's okay. And I want to let people know, when we're talking about healing, the reason why I say it's in your mind is because you have to understand that you're going to have your good days. You're going to have your bad days. There's going to be highs and lows, but just stay the course. Because what happens is we have to compartmentalize the process in our healing. And I mean by with compartmentalization of the compartmentalizing the process of our healing is, if my journey of my healing is 10,000 miles, I cannot focus. I will become overwhelmed if I try to focus on the full 10,000 miles instead of focusing on me taking the first step. And if I take the first step, then I can focus on the second step. And then I can focus on the third step. Then I can focus on the fifth step, because that's right in front of me. If I'm focusing on the step, the last step to get to 10,000, then I'll become so overwhelmed to the point to where I won't be able to, I'll be so focused on things that's not in my purview or things that I can't control. And that's what happens a lot. But what happens when we focus on the step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, and it's a process, it's a daily decision of healing. What happens is, as we just focus on those steps and we see that, hey, you know what, I may not be, I may be far away from my goal of complete healing. But after a while, I just started on step 1 and 2 on my way to 10,000, and now I'm on 1,000 steps. So when I look back, I realize and say, you know what? I'm further than where I used to be, but I know I still got a long way to go. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going, and that's what I say. It's all about it's about the mindset, the process of the mind. And that's why in the Bible said in the book of James said, "Be ye transformed." Book of Romans, it said, "Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." That means that's a constant thing. You have to constantly renew your mind on a day-to-day basis. You may have to constantly, you may have to change your surrounding, change your setting, change the people around you to help facilitate that healing. You know, I can't expect to be healed if I constantly surround myself in an environment where it's not conducive for me to be healed. If I got asthma, I can't be around smoke. I can't be around those things that would trigger those and expect to be healed. I have to make the necessary choices and decisions to be in an environment so that I can be better. And we have to make those decisions. You know, and my mom said this, and that's a good segue. She said the comment, she said, that's why Jesus asks, do you want to be made whole? And if you guys look, for those that and those, you know, this is for those believers and non-believers, but if you read throughout the books of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, it highlights what they call the ministry of Jesus. And within the ministry of Jesus, you'll see when Jesus interacted with people, a lot of times, you know, he healed a lot of people, but when he had conversations with people, the thing that Jesus did was he asked them a question. He said, "Would thou be made whole? Do you want to be made whole?" He didn't ask them, "Hey, do you want me to heal your leprosy, or do you want me to heal this, or do you want me to heal that?" He said, "Would thou be made whole?" And the reason why he was asking that question about being made whole, because the decision is there. Jesus has the power, that the healing is already there, but you have to make the decision that I'm going to choose to heal, and I'm going to stay on that path to healing. Because the thing about healing is you have to have the courage, and the courage will come from God. God will give you the courage, if you ask, to be able to face the trauma that caused the hurt in the first place. And we got to understand the tactics of the enemy. The thing that the enemy loves to do when it comes to healing is the first thing that he wants to do is to isolate us in our thinking. Because when we've been hurt, the biggest thing about it, when I was hurt, when I went through my divorce, and I went through a whole bunch of stuff, dealing with depression, dealing with feeling shame, dealing with feeling betrayal. I went through all of that. And the thing that the enemy kept trying to get me to believe was nobody else will understand what I went through. Nobody else understand what I went through. So he tried to, in a sense, he isolated me, because when he isolates you, he understands, the enemy understands when the word of God said we overcome him, the enemy, by the blood of the Lamb and the words of our testimony. And the words of our testimony. So when I'm not surrounded by other people and I can hear what God has done for them, or I can hear people speaking life into me and encouraging me and sharing things what God did for them, then because faith comes by hearing the word of God. And when we get encouraged, the enemy wants to isolate us so that he can attack us in thought, because our thoughts become our mindset. And if our mindset is one that won't change, then eventually he'll know that we will choose to die in the wilderness instead of reaching the promised land that God created us to do. What do I mean by that? If you look at the children of Israel had went through, saw all of the plagues, saw God do all of those miracles, miraculous things. They even walked and saw God parted the Red Sea, and they walked through the Red Sea on dry ground. They saw that. They walked through that. They lived it. but a lot of them, he allowed them to die out because they refused to change their mindset about how it used to be when they was in slavery. But watch this, when they was in slavery, the most thing they did was they cried out and they wanted God to come heal them and free them. And he did it. When he did it, they still wouldn't change their mindset. So what God did, God provided them provision. They had manna, they had quail. They clothes didn't wear out, but they didn't reach the promised land. They stayed in the wilderness for 40 years for an 11-day journey because of their mindset. And a lot of us, we stay in our wilderness, our point of not healing, for periods, for years and years, because we refuse to change our mindset. We refuse to say, you know what, I'm going to take up my bed and walk. Like the man that had that was at the pool of Bethesda. He was there for 38 years, waiting on somebody else to do something he can do for himself. And when he had an encounter with Jesus, Jesus asked him, would I be made whole? And he said, take up your bed and walk. And a lot of us, we need to put down our bed because we have identified with the thing that hurt us for so long, where it becomes our identity. And we're afraid that by me choosing to heal, I'm going to lose my identity. But your identity is not rooted in your womb. Your identity is rooted in who God created you to be. And the reason why you're not comfortable, that you don't have peace while walking in your identity of being wounded, or your identity of being hurt, or the identity of your trauma, is because you were never created to be that way. That's why everything that you do in that hurt and that trauma is always temporary, and it never sustains you. And you're wondering why, like, man, why can I have peace about it? Why does this thing continue to bother me? Why does this thing still deal with me on the inside? Why does it control me? Because we're making the decision to not choose to walk on the path of healing. I didn't say it was going to be easy. I didn't say that we weren't going to have to face some things, but God did not give us the spirit of fear. He gave us, but of love, of power, and of sound mind. So, and I love how that scripture read, because when we say he did not give us a spirit of fear, I'll give another acronym for the word fear. The acronym that God has gave me for the word fear is forgetting every assurance of the resurrection. So that's what the enemy wants us to do, walk into that, forgetting every assurance of the resurrection. So when we forget every assurance that God said it is, then now we will become as if we forget who we are. We forget that we're king's kids. We forget that God created us to be, that we're more than conquerors. We forget all of these things, because what the enemy try to do is the enemy try to impede and come in and have you walking in a place of you're walking wounded. Because when you're the walking wounded, what happens is you become vulnerable to anything around you. If you see that in nature, if you watch nature, I love watching like Discovery Channel. I love watching National Geographic. And you see the predators always go after the weak or the wounded first, because it's an easier kill, because they know that it's harder for them to fight back. So that's what the enemy is trying to do with us. So that's why I say the process is in your mind. The process is in your mind. We got some comments I want to get to. My mother said being made whole is a choice. It is a choice. It can be a scary choice, but it is a choice. Miss Paige Banks, she said, I'm in the healing process from grief. Some days are rough, but I still go on. And Miss Paige Banks, that right there is 100% correct. And the reason why I agree with that so much is I can remember losing my father and going through that process of grief. And it's a process. Matter of fact, my father died in 2013. Today, when I was watching College Game Day this morning, they did a special about the offensive line coach at Kentucky, who passed away on November the 12th. And they were just talking about how he was going through chemo and still being there and encouraging others and being there for the team. And that made me think about my father. And I had a moment where I had to shed a few tears today, and this 7 years later. It's okay. That is a process. That's part of my process. When it calm, I let it calm. I have my moment. Then boom, I go back and I move on. My mother said, grief is hard, but we have to make the choice to becoming whole. Yes. And I think the biggest thing, and I want to hit on grief, especially for those that are healing with grief, it is unrealistic to expect things to be the way that they used to be prior to, because you have to adjust to a new normal, because that person is not here anymore. But that new normal is not a bad thing. That new normal just means that it's not going to be the same. Because why am I saying that? If I continue to expect things to be like they used to be, and that person is never going to be here again, then I'm setting myself up to continue to, I'm going back and peeling up the scabs on it. And what keeps me going is the memories of that person. The memories of that person, and enjoying those memories, enjoying those things that was the interactions and all of those things. So those things are grateful. I'm grateful for that, because it is so good. It helps me. It helps me with my process. And I would say some healing, true healing, is continuous. It's never really get to a point to where it's going to be like, okay, today is over with, because some things can impact that. And we have Miss Page. She says it's a day-to-day process. It is a day-to-day process. And she said this comment. She said, "You are so right. My healing started when I forgave the people involved. I couldn't start until then." Miss Page Banks, you hit something on the head on that one. I made a post earlier today, talking with a real good friend this morning, and God dropped this nugget in my spirit. You know, some things we got to be selfish about, and it's okay. Like, we got to be selfish in our worship. We have to be selfish in our healing, and we got to be selfish when it comes to forgiveness. Why did I say that? Because selfish in your worship is between you and God. So it really has nothing to do about anybody else. That's what I mean by being selfish. Not in a malice way, but they're just between, that's a one-on-one thing. You have to be selfish too when it becomes about your healing, because your healing is about you. Your healing is about you. So you just have to say, you know what? I have to make this decision because this is something that impacts me. It's going to be for me becoming better. So that's what I'm going to do. And when you talk about forgiveness, selfishness and forgiveness, because, too many times we correlate forgiveness with the other person, and it's not dependent on the other person. Your forgiveness tie is about your decision that you make, so that you can heal and you can be made whole. And so you can move on. You can move on. I would tell you, for those that may have never experienced it, once you begin that journey of peace and over the initial hurt, it becomes peaceful. It becomes peaceful. And you have a peace that the Bible said, the peace that surpasses all understanding. You experience a peace that people be like, man, what's going on? And you be like, man, I don't know. But I just know God is doing something in me, and I just have a peace about it, and I can walk. The weight be lifted off of you. You don't walk around with 1,200 pounds on your back. You can be free to be you. And that's the other thing with healing. The reason why the enemy wants you to walk around not healed is because you'll be walking around in bondage and not in freedom. You'll be walking in bondage and not in freedom. You'll be imprisoning yourself unto the limitations of that hurt, and not being free to be able to walk in the fullness of what you were created to do. And you have to make that decision to say, you know what? I'm not going to allow this hurt to put me in the box. I'm not going to allow this hurt to put me in the box. I'm not going to carry this load anymore. Because when we allow ourselves to, because this is what happened. And this is why the enemy wants us to isolate ourselves. He wants us to isolate ourselves because when we isolate ourselves, it's hard for us to really come to the understanding of or get to the place of where we can have the mindset, our mindset can be changed, the changing of our mindset. You know, a lot of times we don't have what we need is because our mindset. Last week I had my classmate, our great friend, Frederick Ward, and we were talking about the power of self-education. And as a classmate of mine, he's somebody that I have a lot of respect for, and I'm very proud of, because I've seen how we come from the same place. but I've seen how he was able to change his mindset of how he looked at things, which now has created opportunities that he never would have had if he didn't have that, if he had the same mindset. And sometimes we have to change, a lot of times in order to change our mindset, we got to change our environment. We can't be around the same people. We got to be around things that are conducive for us to heal. You know, sometimes we are hurt because we are expecting the people that caused the hurt to be the one that help us through the healing process. Some of us are blessed to have that. A lot of us, most of us would never get that. Because one thing we have to realize is hurting people hurt people. And a lot of people that may have caused hurt to us, they did it from a place of hurt themselves. That's why it's so important for us to heal, because if we don't heal, we'll begin to perpetuate that hurt, especially to the ones close to us. We may do it subconsciously, we may do it on purpose, or we may do it, not on purpose. But that's why we have to be able to make that decision to heal, because the process of healing begins and ends within your mind. Joyce Myers got a great book, The Battlefield is in Your Mind. When you think about it, everything that starts, it starts in our mind. Everything that starts, it starts in our mind. And it starts with a thought. And a lot of times, people are miserable because they don't want to change their mindset, but their conditions of their environment is demanding that they do. So, that's why I just wanted to talk about this tonight. I wanted to talk about the process of healing. I wanted to talk about that, how you can make the decision to heal. Don't sit around and just think that, oh man, I'm going to feel like that. I'm going to feel, today I'm just going to feel like healing's going to be there. And I'm going to decide to heal. And throughout this whole process, there's going to be no issues because I made a decision to heal. And it's not like that. Miss Paige Banks, she just made a comment. She said, I make this journey day to day because of who God is. If I'm to have the mind of Christ, I got to love in spite of. God has given me peace. However, I still have many times. There are times when I thought I wasn't going to make it. That is true. That's why I said it is a process. It is a process. And I would tell you throughout that whole process, I found that God is a keeper. And I shared this song. I shared a song I wrote when I went through my situation. That is titled, the song is titled, He's a Keeper. And the lyrics of the song, and I thank God for it, because I never would have been able to write the song if I didn't go through it and have that understanding to go through it. And the lyrics of the song just say, you don't know what I've been through, the tests and trials he brought me through. You couldn't see the hurt and the pain and all the guilt and all the shame. I couldn't see my way. At times I wanted to stray, but now I know that you are the one who kept me. During those times, I'm just so thankful that God had showed me during those times that he was a keeper. Despite the times that I wanted to give up, despite the times that I fell short, despite the times that I made mistakes, that he still kept me. And you're going to have your good days and bad days, but that's why I wanted to have this conversation, because we like to talk about this, especially from a spiritual standpoint. Oh, just trust God and, everything will be there. No, what that look like? People want to know, what does that look like? People want to know, hey, I hear what you're saying, bro, but bro, this thing don't always feel fun, going through it. And that right there is why we're having these conversations. It's okay to feel like you don't want to do it. It's okay to be upset, but the Bible said, be angry, but sin not. Don't allow that anger to become bitterness. Don't allow that to foster in you to the point to where you're still remaining in that place of hurt, because that place of hurt, you can't be your full self from that place of hurt. And I just want to encourage you guys to whoever that's out there that's been dealing with a wound, that's been dealing with something that hurt you, for whatever it is, from whatever trauma it may be. I pray that my prayer is that you find that place of peace, that find that place of healing. It's not going to come through other person. It's not going to come through a relationship. It's not going to come through drugs. It's not going to come through alcohol. It's not going to come through sex. It's not going to come through power. It's not going to come through prestige. It's not going to come through anything. It's going to come through you making a decision to say, you know what, I'm choosing to heal. and I'm choosing to be made whole. And I'm going to make that decision, and I'm going to walk that walk, and I'm going to become whole. So my mother said, learning to look to God at all times help us make it through. That is true. But my question is, the thing with that is, we say that, and I understand that, and I'm not being dismissive, but a lot of people like what that look like. What does that look like? And we need to start having conversations and having these tangible conversations, so that people can really understand it and see that, you know what, okay, I understand it now. I see it better now, and I don't feel overwhelmed. And I just want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Next week, I am looking forward. I'm telling you, next week is going to be off the chain. Got a special guest coming in, representing from the Black Belt. So I just had special guest coming in. Going to be a great topic next week. But before we do this, I want to give a shout out to my classmate Mia Patrick Bradbury. If you just go, and she's doing, I mean, she's doing her thing, man. Shout out to Mia. She has her own business up in event. She does event. So you want to book her, she's up in Bessemer. She does event parties. She have Airbnb. She got different theme houses. She got she just opened up one where you can rent as a Barbie doll thing house. I mean, that thing is just beautiful. That thing is beautiful. She also has another property in Greensboro. If you want to, the Rustic Ranch, I think, yeah, the Rustic Ranch. You can look for that page. Look up. She got a deal coming up. If you want to rent that out and do an Airbnb, hey, do your thing. But I just wanted to give a shout out to Mia, because let her know that, hey, I'm trying to get her on the show, but let her know that I'm proud of it and, represent 9-8. We got a comment here from Sellers Nay. Y'all hear my dog Peanut outside. I'll bring him in and say Roll Tide in a minute. But she says healing. She said healing looks like being able to talk about a hurtful situation in a positive way. She said also being able to sort perception from reality. That is so true. And what she say, when she said that, being able to sort perception from reality, that right there is the biggest thing that the enemy try to get us to, because when we walk in hurt, it skews our viewpoint of what reality is. It skews our viewpoint from what reality is. So I thank you for that comment. Very, very, very helpful in the comment. And I had Mia, she made a comment. Mia, she said, hey, thanks so much, Robert. Hey, just a real shout out, man. Genuinely, I'm proud of you. So y'all see her comment right there. Hey, reach out to her if you got anything. I mean, she can make it happen. If you want to have a themed birthday party, she got the big chair. She got everything. So you go ahead on and make that thing happen. 9-8, 9-8 in the building. And my mom, she said, oh my goodness, here we go with the 9-8. First of all, I just want to let everybody know that's watching. Graduated from Greensboro East High School in 1998, right? I tell people this story all the time. I literally had the same classmates from first grade to 12th grade when I first came to Greensboro, kindergarten and Hatch, and then Greensboro from first grade to 12th grade. Literally had the same classmate. We grew up close. We were close-knit. Got a lot of love from my 9-8 family. But next week, I have a special guest, and the special guest is Miss Nikki Carter. Miss Nikki Carter, she's going to be on next week, and episode 18. I would tell you, you don't want to miss this one. You don't want to miss this one, because we got the topic that we're going to talk about is the myth of relationship roles and expectations. And we're going to hit on a lot of that juicy stuff. I mean, juicy stuff. And the stuff I mean juicy is we're going to have a candid conversation about roles and about expectations and about being single parents and about, what that looks like. Because to be honest with you, I really feel that a lot of us are looking for that and looking for that conversation. And if I've already talked to her, I'm really excited about it. I'll be posting the flyer soon. But hey, I thank you guys for tuning in this week. A lot of love. Thank you for the comments. My prayer is for those out there that are hurting. My prayer is that that you make the decision tonight that you're gonna start your process of healing. What did that look like? When I went through my process of healing, I made a mental decision before my heart caught up with my mind. And it's okay. What I mean by my heart caught up, I was still hurting. I was still doing that, but I said, I'm going to choose to heal. And I made a decision to keep doing a little something every day. Every day I'm choosing healing. 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 I have a bad day. Some days I have a setback. But I'm going to get up and I'm going to keep going. And when I started on that journey to healing, what I began to see is God began to send people in my life just to encourage me, to say, hey, it's okay. Everything going to be all right. Send people in my life just to be to be that beacon of light. He began to change my environment. I had to remove myself from certain people. I had to make certain decisions. I had to stop talking to certain people for a period of time so that I can heal from the hurt that they caused me. See, you have to make those things, and God, and it's a process, and you will know that. So my prayer is that you choose healing. My prayer is that you choose to be an overcomer, because you have a lot to stand and live for. And I'm just excited. We had Mia come back on. She said, proud of you as well, 9-8. Much love to you too. Got some things coming. Hey, I'm working on my new album. Got some music coming. I'm excited about that. And the title of this album is going to be The Conversation. And I think this thing going to be is God is really blowing my mind on this one. So some real good content. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thank you guys for tuning in. My prayer is that you have a blessed and wonderful evening. I'm speaking healing out there, not only healing from an emotional standpoint, but healing from a physical standpoint for whatever ailments that may be out there that people may be going through. I speak life, I speak hope, and I speak joy. And you guys have a great night. Thank y'all for tuning in. God bless.